Hello everyone, good morning. We are discussing food as a substrate for microorganisms from paper 11, Food and Industrial Microbiology. We have seen that microorganisms interact with the food. The interactions may be beneficial or harmful. But food has certain characteristics that determine which type of organisms will grow in it and which type of organisms will not be able to grow in it. In addition to this inherent characteristics of the food that decide what will grow and what will not grow in it, the storage conditions are also important to determine food as a substrate for growth of microorganisms. Such characteristics are called as extrinsic factors. Extrinsic factors include the environmental conditions where the food is stored. Such environmental conditions during storage of food involve temperature of storage of food, relative humidity of the environment, presence and concentration of gases in the environment, presence and activity of other organisms in the food. The extrinsic factors, I will repeat once again, include temperature, relative humidity, presence and concentration of gases, and presence and activity of other microorganisms in the food. Now we will discuss temperature of storage of the food. Every microorganism has three cardinal temperature values: the minimum temperature, the maximum temperature, and the optimum temperature. Minimum temperature is the temperature below which there is no growth. Maximum temperature is the temperature above which there is no growth. And optimum temperature is the temperature that gives maximum growth of the organisms. The temperature range of the organism is defined by its minimum temperature and maximum temperature. For example, a microorganism with the temperature range 9 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees Celsius indicates that the organism will not grow below 9 degrees Celsius. It will not grow above 45 degrees Celsius. Somewhere in between these lies its optimum temperature. For example, the optimum temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. It means the organism will show maximum growth rate at 37 degrees Celsius temperature. Depending upon the temperature requirement, the microorganisms are divided into three physiological groups as psychrophiles, mesophiles and thermophiles. Philes indicate loving. Psychro indicates cold. Thermo indicates heat. Psychrophiles are cold loving organisms. These organisms favor low temperature for their growth. Their favorable temperature is from 2 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. For example, Pseudomonas, Alcaligenes, Enterococcus, etc. Psychrophiles are important in food microbiology because these organisms can grow very easily at refrigeration temperature and they can spoil the refrigerated food. Mesophiles are the organisms that favor moderate temperature for their growth. For example, Salmonella, Staphylococcus aureus are mesophiles. They favor the temperature range of 20 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees Celsius. These organisms are large in number and they can grow at room temperatures. Thermophiles are the organisms that are heat-loving organisms. These organisms favor high temperatures for their growth. The temperatures of 55 to 65 degrees Celsius are favored by these organisms. Such organisms are found in geysers. Examples of thermophiles: Bacillus stearothermophilus, Clostridium, etc. The picture here is showing one hot water spring, geyser, where thermophiles are commonly found. Thermophiles are important because they can spoil hot food. The food that is kept hot for a long time can also be spoiled by thermophiles. Psychrophiles are important because they can spoil the refrigerated food. And mesophiles are also important because when the food is kept at moderate temperature, at room temperature, the food is very susceptible to be spoiled by mesophiles. The temperature of storage of food affects the quality of food. Some foods are very well kept in refrigerator, while for some foods refrigeration temperature is not suitable. The quality of food product must also be taken into account while selecting the storage temperature. For example, banana are kept better if they are stored at 13 to 17 degrees Celsius. We cannot keep bananas in refrigeration because they are spoiled easily at low temperature. Bacteria have temperature ranges very wide. Fungi also have wide temperature ranges. Molds are very important with respect to temperature of storage of food. This is because molds have ability to grow at refrigeration temperature. For example, Aspergillus, Cladosporium, Thamnidium, these are some molds that grow in refrigerated foods. They can spoil the refrigerated foods. Yeasts prefer psychrotropic and mesophilic temperature ranges. Means yeasts can tolerate low temperature. Although they do not favor, they can tolerate low temperature and they grow very well at moderate temperature ranges. This is about temperature of storage of food. We have discussed the physiological groups of organisms based on temperature: psychrophiles, mesophiles and thermophiles, and they can spoil the food kept at that particular temperature. We have also seen the temperature range for growth of microorganisms and the range of foods they can spoil. Now the next important factor is relative humidity of the environment. Relative humidity is important from the standpoint of AW within the foods and the growth of microorganisms at the surfaces. Foods with low AW content, means low moisture content, when placed in high relative humidity environment, they take up the moisture until the equilibrium has been established. What does it mean? Suppose there is a food having AW of 0.60, means very well dried food. Such food, if you store in a humid atmosphere where the relative humidity is very high, the food will absorb moisture from the environment and then it will increase its AW at the surface and then it can be easily spoiled by microbial growth. Foods with high AW, when placed in an environment with low RH, lose moisture to the atmosphere. Means suppose the food is suppose like a fruit like tomato or a vegetable like tomato. If you place in an environment with low relative humidity, it will lose the moisture. It will become dry and it will shrink. So, selecting proper storage environment for the foods is very important because relative humidity is very much correlated with the temperature. Generally, if the temperature is high, then the relative humidity is low. If the temperature is low, then the relative humidity is high. Therefore, in the refrigerator, the relative humidity is high. Remember, in refrigerator, the relative humidity is high. The temperature is low, the relative humidity is high. So, if you store dried foods in the refrigerator, what will happen? They will absorb moisture from the refrigerator and the water activity will increase at the surface of the food and this will cause surface spoilage. If you place dried foods in the refrigerator the temperature is low, the relative humidity is high. Therefore, from this high relative humidity, moisture will be absorbed by the food and the surface of the food will get moistened. It will increase the AW at the surface of the food and therefore surface spoilage will occur. This will affect the quality of the food. The next factor is presence and concentration of gases in the environment. The single most important atmospheric gas that is used to control microorganisms in the food is carbon dioxide. Very, very important. Carbon dioxide packaging is used. Nowadays, modified atmosphere packaged foods are used to improve the shelf life of food. The picture is showing some modified atmosphere packaging mechanisms here. 10% CO2 or more CO2 is used during packaging and therefore the food is not easily spoiled. How CO2 prevents the spoilage is CO2 retards fungal blotting. It acts as a competitive inhibitor of ethylene. Ethylene acts as a senescence factor in fruits. It causes aging in fruits and its inhibition has the effect of maintaining the fruit in a better state of natural resistance. CO2 retards fungal blotting and CO2 is inhibitor of ethylene. Because ethylene is inhibited, the state of spoilage is avoided for a long time and therefore the food can be kept safe for a longer time. Steaks is a meat product, are stored in 100% CO2 atmosphere. Fish is stored in 80% CO2 atmosphere. The inhibitory effect of CO2 increases with decrease in the temperature. The inhibitory effect of CO2 increases with decrease in the temperature. Means lower the temperature, the inhibitory effect of CO2 is more. This is because solubility of CO2 is increased at lower temperature. Lower the temperature, more soluble CO2 is. Therefore, its inhibitory effect increases. Therefore, they are more effective during cold storage. The second most important gas is ozone, O3. Ozone is the other atmospheric gas that has high antimicrobial properties. Ozone has strong oxidizing property. Therefore, it should not be used for fat-rich foods because then it will undergo oxidation and therefore rancidity will be increased. Ozone is a very good antimicrobial gas. It has very strong oxidizing property but not suitable for fat-rich foods. Ozone packing is used nowadays for various foods. The picture is showing such ozone packing in presence of ozone. The next important factor is presence and activity of other microorganisms. This we can divide into two categories. One is general microbial interference and the next is lactic interference, lactic antagonism. General microbial interference. General antagonistic activities of normal food biota against Listeria monocytogenes and pathogenic strains of E. coli. Large aerobic bacterial biota suppresses growth of Clostridium botulinum in fresh meats. What is this? These are the examples of microbial interference. General antagonistic activities of normal food biota means what? Naturally present food biota. Biota is the microbial population that is present in and on the surface of the food. General antagonistic activities of such biota which is normally present in the food has antagonistic effect against Listeria monocytogenes and pathogenic strains of E. coli. In the same manner, Aerobic bacterial biota suppresses the growth of Clostridium botulinum in the fresh meats. Reasons for interference. The reasons for interference include competition for nutrients, rendering the environment unfavorable, competition for attachment or adhesion sites, or combination of one or more of this. Competition for nutrients. The normal flora is using the nutrients from the food. Whenever some other organism tries to enter the food other than the normal flora of the food, that invader has to compete with the normal biota for getting the nutrients. The normal microorganisms that are growing in the food, they are making the environment unfavorable for other organisms because of their activities. They may produce acids, they may produce alcohols, or they may produce other inhibitory substances and make the environment hostile for other microorganisms. Competition for attachment or adhesion sites, or two or more factors of the three may be acting together to interference by other microorganisms. Then the next important part of presence and activity of other microorganisms is lactic antagonism. This is a well-studied antagonism. Lactic acid bacteria inhibit or kill closely related or food spoilage or food poisoning organisms in mixed cultures. Take a mixed culture containing lactic acid bacteria. It is found that these lactic acid bacteria kill other bacteria, kill other organisms that are responsible for food spoilage or food poisoning. How they can do this is they have the ability to produce antibiotics, bacteriocins, hydrogen peroxide, depressed pH means they produce acid and lower the pH. They produce diacetyl and they cause nutrient depletion so that the other organism will not grow. A multi-component produced by Propionibacterium frudentrii subspecies Shermani inhibits gram-negative bacteria and molds in cottage cheese. This is another antagonistic activity. A component is produced by Propionibacterium frudentrii when it is growing in cottage cheese. What that component does is that component inhibits the growth of other gram-negative bacteria, and it also inhibits the growth of molds in that cheese. Nisin is an antimicrobial compound produced by lactic acid bacteria. This is about lactic antagonism. Conclusion. We are concluding food as a substrate for microorganisms. The intrinsic and extrinsic factors significantly affect the microbial flora of food. Which type of microorganisms will grow in the food and which type of microorganisms will not grow in the food is dependent on intrinsic and extrinsic factors. There is a concept called as hurdle concept. What this concept says, multiple factors are employed to control microorganisms in food. For example, barrier technology, combination preservation, etc. Nowadays, foods are preserved by combination preservation techniques, which are making use of more than one factors that inhibit the growth of microorganisms, that control the growth of microorganisms. This is called as hurdle concept. Factors affecting the germination of spores of Clostridium botulinum. Why we are emphasizing Clostridium botulinum is because it is a food poisoning organism. Factors affecting the germination of spores of Clostridium botulinum. When studied, it was found that these organisms' spores are not allowed to germinate because of interaction or combined effects of various factors. What are these various factors? pH, water activity, NaCl concentration, NaNO2 concentration, temperature of storage, and presence of other aerobic biota. If Clostridium botulinum spores are to be inhibited, means if the spores are not allowed to germinate, how it can be done? We can prevent the germination of spores of Clostridium botulinum by keeping the pH well below 4.6, by keeping the water activity below 0.94, by using 10% sodium chloride, by using 120 ppm of sodium nitrate, and by storing the food below 10 degrees Celsius temperature. The food must have large aerobic biota associated with it, which is harmless biota. It will prevent the germination of spores of Clostridium botulinum. So these many factors altogether can act to prevent the germination of spores of Clostridium botulinum. This is about food as a substrate for microorganisms. Thank you very much. We will meet again in the next video.